Of course, also been talking this morning about yesterday's primary races in New York, and we are now joined by one of the winners, State Assemblyman Michael Lasher, who emerged victorious from the crowded field in New York's 12th district. Also with us at the table, the editor of The New Republic, Michael Tomasky, and co-founder and CEO of All In Together, Lauren Leader. Our thanks to all of you for being here, and congratulations.
Thank you.
On last night. It was a close race, as anticipated. Crowded field, close race. What do you think made the difference in the end?
I think at the end of the day, the voters of the district that I'm running in, or that I've won the primary in, still want seriousness in government, want someone who can take on Donald Trump and continue the representation they've had from Jerry Nadler, who's been a progressive leader in the House and a voice of moral clarity.
So of those you defeated, Kennedy heir Jack Schlossberg, George Conway, pundit, Assemblyman Alex Boris, who was a close second place. We've had a debate this morning about what these results mean, and certainly New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani had a good night. Some of the candidates that he blessed won. Now, he wasn't really involved in your race, but there was a thought here that there was some fear expressed that the Mamdani label could actually then make it easy for Republicans to paint with a broad brush all Democrats. Joe pushed back on that and said, no, you have different candidates for different races, different states, different cities. What's your take?
I think that every election cycle, the Republicans pick a boogeyman, and it's been Nancy Pelosi, it's been AOC, and they're always going to find a boogeyman. And so that, to me, who won the primaries last night is not going to make the difference in the upcoming midterms.
Lauren, let's get your take us the question, please, to someone, but let's get your thoughts on that, the branding, if you will, of the Democratic Party.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I agreed with Mike on this one. I do worry very much about it, and I think there is something very different. To me, this was like a Tea Party kind of election for Democrats. We have been seeing this growing backlash against incumbents. I mean, Micah, you were really one of the few in New York that benefited from the support of incumbency, as you said, the support of Jerry Nadler, all of the other races, that support from incumbents, whether that was Nydia Velázquez or, Adriano Aspiat, they all lost after that. So your district, kind of unique in New York City. I think the concern that I hear everywhere, obviously, and you have a very heavily Jewish district on the Upper West Side, on the Upper East Side, there's a lot of angst about the mainstreaming of some very, very virulent anti-Israel rhetoric in the Democratic Party. Lots to say about the role of AIPAC in there. Your district's a little different, but where do you think now in this new delegation, how do you guys find a way to come together and, govern together as a New York delegation in the fall?
I think it's a really good question. I'm very proud to represent the most Jewish congressional district. Concerns that people in my community and the Jewish community around the city are feeling about anti-Semitism being normalized. And that is something we're going to have to confront. It's certainly something that I want to play a role in confronting as we go forward.
We certainly saw in the Lander victory over Goldman, the incumbent, that the support for Israel was a key factor there, and many believe that's why Goldman was defeated. Michael, again, please take a question to the assemblyman, but also talk about the Trump factor in all of this, because like George Conway, who joined us yesterday on Election Day, made clear his whole campaign was to nationalize it, to make it about Trump. He didn't fare that well. Right. Other candidates have struck more of a balance. Is that the lesson from Democrats? Yes, you have to talk Trump, but you got to make sure you keep local issues at heart too.
Yeah.
Well, I think you always have to keep local issues in mind when you're running for Congress, and you have to, as you already know, and certainly will learn, the job will teach you, that you're going to have to tend to the district, and you've been doing that anyway as a staffer for Jerry Nadler. But yeah, local issues are always important, and you have to pay. When you lose touch with those, that's when they that's when they start thinking you're out of touch. That's when you're vulnerable to that kind of attack. We've seen that happen many times with veteran members of Congress. I do think that Israel's going to be the big divide between these socialists and members like you. I think that on economics, I don't see all that much disagreement, really. I mean, everybody's moving in a more progressive direction on economics, and I personally think that's a good thing. The Democrats need to do more to show working Americans that we're on your side and we're going to fight for you. I think everybody more or less agrees on that, or most people do. But Israel's going to be a dividing line in the Democratic Party in a big way.
No question, both this fall and in 2028. Last question to you. If you are elected, again, you do have a general election opponent, but it's certainly a heavily Democratic district. But if you were to represent the Trump factor, what would be some things that a Democratic House, if the House is flipped, which many prognosticators believe it will, what are some things that could be done to check Donald Trump?
I think we need to go in on day one with a robust plan for oversight and investigations and accountability, as well as focus on the laws that they have exploited or norms that need to be codified in statute to ensure that we don't have a future president who can do what Donald Trump has done to our rule of law. And I think Democrats need to walk in with a plan on day one.
U.S. Congressional Democratic nominee, New York Assemblyman Michael Lasher, thank you. Congrats again. We appreciate it. Now